It is our new segment on Wake Up Central where we answer your Arkansas questions. They can be big, they can be small, and this morning we're diving into a question from an Arkansan, or an Arkansawyer, or an Arkansian. What exactly is the correct term for someone from Arkansas? That's a great question. Our home officially became a state in 1836 as the 25th state admitted to the Union. Today, natives of our state are commonly referred to as Arkansans. However, that is not the only true term for us natural state natives. State historian and director of the state archives, Dr. David Ware, says we have three.
Arkansian shows up in the 1840s, and it's really the first term that we know used to denote people from Arkansas. Arkansan, basically Arkansian was somebody who's lost an eye along the way. Hey, maybe it was a typographical error. That appears in the 1850s. Arkansawyer is a term that first appears in print, as far as we know, in the mid-1870s.
Dr. Ware says it all goes back to the Eclectic Society of Little Rock and the State Historical Society coming together and deciding once and for all how to pronounce and spell our state's name.
They put their heads together and came up with a lovely compromise that it would be spelled one way and pronounced the other, and the legislature signs onto it in 1881.
It is Arkansas Code Title I, General Provisions 14105, Pronunciation of Arkansas.
Whereas confusion of practice has arisen in the pronunciation of the name of our state, and it is deemed important that the true pronunciation should be determined for use in oral official proceedings, and whereas the matter has been thoroughly investigated by the Historical Society of the State of Arkansas and the Eclectic Society of Little Rock, which have agreed upon the correct pronunciation as derived from history and the early usage of the American immigrants, etc., etc.
In layman's terms, spell it Arkansas, pronounce it Arkansas. So for us natives, is it correct to call us Arkansawyers?
If you're comfortable with being called an Arkansawyer, it's not a term of derision, and it's one of the traditional words for people who come from here.
So a good morning to all my fellow Arkansawyers out there. Remember, if you do have a question, you'd like us to answer it, just text us 501-376-1111.
I'm not offended by any one of them, but
Sure.
I think I just prefer Arkansan.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If someone called me an Arkansawyer, I'd take that as a pretty good compliment.
I'm going to laugh at them for a minute, but I'm not going to be offended.
Arkansian?
Arkansian.
Well, it was so funny too because we were discussing because they think that Arkansan may have come from just a translation of like where someone was writing it down and they couldn't see the I, and they said, "Oh, it's Arkansan."
Yep.
And maybe the I just, at some point of writing it down throughout the years of history was just lost.
It makes me wonder how many other things were lost in history based off of very, very simple mistakes just like that.
That's crazy.
Typos. Well, I mean, as long as you don't call us Arkansas. The state
no,
of
we don't. Not a big fan of that.
Arkansas.
Not a big fan of that.
That's been done in the Midwest, but
Well,
we
they
don't
can-
allow that here.
They can
Yes, we
they
know.
can fix it.
They can go back to the Midwest. So